Now, for the most part, the Hawks made every moment count in last night's blowout win of the Pistons. It was the fourth win, so the season series sweep. First time they've done that against the Pistons since the 93-94 season. Of course, the 129-107 win also gets them back to 500, which is a good look. But there were a
Familiar
couple of
place.
performances, yeah, exactly, that you've been doing this dance with for 26 games.
Yeah.
We're at 500. We're one game above 500. We're one game below 500. So even if they win tonight, it'll be the 27th game that they've been doing the dance with that three in those three spaces, right? But still a good look because, of course, about 10 days ago, they got it handed to them by the Timberwolves at home. So you really hope that you don't get to see that again, especially with Karl Anthony Towns coming back. But before we talk about that and preview the Pistons matchup, let's go back to last night, run it back to last night with Bogdan Bogdanovic. He was, of course, in for Dejounte Murray, out with a non-COVID illness. And just two things. Number one, it stood out to me as a reminder that Bogey does have starter feels to him, right? He can go right in, and whether you put him in at the one or the two, he'll be just fine if you insert him into that starting lineup, as he showed last night. And one of the things I saw was this. You come back from halftime, and you're only up by 7, and then Bogey goes and hits 3 threes. You go on a 16-0 run, and that's game. That shows me how important and how critical Bogdan Bogdanovic is when he is really shooting like Bogey.
And it actually goes to show you, like, okay, this is why we paid this dude to stick around. You know what I'm saying? Like, only reservation that I had about that particular signing is the fact that the health piece, right? Because, you know, Bo has some, Bogey has some issues, dealing with his legs and everything. And so you just hope that, he stays healthy, because once he's healthy, the dude is a sniper. Like, he can go off like at any point. And I think that run that he went on for himself, coming out of the half, like, I was like, okay, he's ready to rock. And another person that was ready to rock, T, and I've been impressed by this brother, Onyeka Okongwu. Like, I know that was your guy, but I'm gonna have to take him today because this dude was absolutely man-childing out there. Like, when you're talking about blocking shots and rebounds and just giving him the ball in the post and saying, hey, do what you will. You know what I mean? Like, not looking uncomfortable when he throws the ball. I remember when he was a rookie and they brought him in, they threw the ball to him in the post. It's almost like he didn't even know what to do with it. And I think that now, just to see the progression that he's had, and now getting ready to go into the contract year, it just amazes me that this guy has continued to get better since he walked through that door. And last night, it just came to fruition, just saying, hey, like, this is who I am. And then there was one stat that they talked about on the broadcast. I was just, it kind of made me open my eyes as well. He was like, he's in the top 15 as far as blocked shots coming off the bench. So I was like, oh, man, this is some really cool stuff to see Double O join the party with Bogey last night.
Yes, and just a friendly ATL Day One's reminder to you guys. Here's something I want to share as a reminder. Onyeka Okongwu, power forward. Saddiq Bey, small forward. However, he can still play in that space a little bit at the 4. Double O, 7 points, 8 rebounds. Saddiq Bey, 14 points, 11 rebounds. He had a sneaky double-double last night that I think a lot of people just didn't pay attention to. But I say that to say, in that 3 or 4 space, there are some strong backups. They may not be the guy who would potentially replace a John Collins or a DeAndre Hunter, but you want to talk about reestablishing the strength of the bench, where we're now back to calling them the bench mob. We're getting close, and I'm really, really liking what I see. And when you move Bogey back there as the leader of the second unit, that's kind of rounding out Jarvis low-key to be a nice second unit for the Hawks.
Yeah, and that was the issue right early on in the season, because it's just like, all right, you got Dejounte Murray, but now, like, what's going on with your bench? Because, Kevin Huerter was that guy. He was a sniper, coming off the bench last year. So, you have Bogey come back, and then, you bring in a Saddiq Bey, a real low-key, really nice trade. It's starting to look, you're starting to get some payment or some ROI, as the stockholders would say, when it comes to what he's been able to bring you since the trade deadline. I think this is this is what it was supposed to look like as
Yeah.
far as that bench, like and people contributing consistently, and like and it's truly unfortunate, like we talked about yesterday with Jalen
Mhm.
Johnson going down, because you're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
man, this
that's a great
is
point.
this is what we want to
Yeah.
see. Like this
Yep.
is the bench that we want to see. So
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's unfortunate that Johnson is out, but it's good to see guys like Bogey stepping up and Sadiq Bey continue to do what he's been doing ever since he touched down at State Farm Arena.
Indeed. And to your point, great point about Jalen Johnson, you keep him out for a week, maybe even a week and a half, and you just kind of grind your way through these last 10 games. Then you keep him fresh, potentially for hosting a play-in game and hopefully get in a position where you got two tries at it to make it to an actual playoff series. Now, that said, when you think about it, other than Jalen Johnson, we're going into Minnesota pretty healthy, right? As far as, but sometimes the Hawks play checkers and sometimes they play chess. I think they're playing chess today because they have not yet submitted their injury report. However, the Wolves have made it very clear that Karl-Anthony Towns will likely return. There's about a 99% chance he's coming back, and he's coming back from a 51-game absence. And I heard some guys joking this morning at 92.9. Wow, so you're bringing Cat back because you think maybe he'll have some target practice on the Hawks? Is that what you're saying? But really, but I was like, dang, wow, okay.
Usually,
shots fired, but okay, that might be facts. So I really just have to ask, although we saw what we needed to see last night and what we should have seen, because you'd already beaten the Pistons 3 times this season, can the Hawks put it together, have it not get on the road and go up to Minnesota, put it together to get their 3rd win in the last 4 games, which quietly, that's pretty good because they haven't been able to do that consistently this season. And also, Jarvis, avenge a loss just about a week and a half ago when they got blown out by the Timberwolves. I mean, if so, okay, how, Sway?
They can, sure. Yeah, sure they can. Like we've seen the capabilities at times of this team throughout the year. But I think that the real question is just like you said, how they're gonna do it. Like, okay, focus, lock in on defense, shoot the ball well, or pass the ball, share the ball, move the ball. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what Quinn Snyder is really big on, ball movement. And I think he could kind of put it in perspective after the game last night when he said, he's like, yeah, we did a good job of playing defense, but like, what you want, a cookie? He didn't say that. Those are my words.
He essentially said it.
That's essentially what he said. That's what I got from the way he kind of phrased it. And I think that mindset right there from your head coach is exactly how they need to go into this game. Like, yeah, we did it against Detroit, but like, what, they had 7 players out. The guy who normally busts they behind every time he steps on the court, Cade Cunningham, he's been out for quite some time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, all right, who was really out there? So I think that, can they? Yeah, I believe wholeheartedly that they can, but it's just a matter of fact is to locking in and showing that they will do it, and that's what I question. And like I said, my expectations are out the door, T.
Yeah.
Like, I know what they're capable of, but asking me night in and night out what they're gonna do, I don't know. So we'll definitely see, because we know Ant-Man and Karl-Anthony Towns are going to be ready. I would assume that he's going to be on limited minutes. I think that I don't see him being that big of a factor in the game. But hey, it is the Hawks playing defense.
Indeed, and you don't need to be that big of a factor if you hit a couple outside shots, hit from the perimeter, or just bang a little in the post. Then it could be a long night for the Hawks, and that might be, I don't know, a recipe for us having a different conversation tomorrow than we had today. But you can always have the same conversation if it's a conversation about Built Bar, because their March Madness bracket is here. We know you have a favorite bar or puff, because we sure do. So now it is your time to make it count. It's really simple. You go to BuiltMarchMadness.com and you can vote for your favorite. So you know which one I'll be voting for, because you hear me talking about cookie dough bar a lot. So if you want to vote for your favorite bar, then you'll be voting for that bar maybe, or another bar too. Support your team and support your favorite bar. And when you vote for your favorite bar or puff, you know how generous the folks are at Built Bar? They'll enter you into a drawing where 50 lucky Locked On listeners will get a free box of Built. But it doesn't stop there. You can actually even Be one Locked On fan that'll win a 12-month subscription to have Built's best bars or puffs delivered right to your door. So remember, you got to try it because it's the best protein bar ever, forever, ever. Yes, indeed. And why? Because they're so good with, hey, all that protein. We told you guys before, we'll tell you again. When you were talking about 15 grams of protein, that's a lot packed into one bar. Also, we tell you about the fact that there's not a lot of fat involved in that particular snack. 130 calories, really not a lot for a good snack. And only 4 grams of sugar. And if you're somebody like me who has a sweet tooth but don't want to overdo it, this is the perfect bar for you. And of course, 100% chocolate. So I'm going to run it back to you one more time so you don't forget. BuiltMarchMadness.com. You can go there right after you check out ATL Day Ones, and you can vote for your favorite bar or puff and pick up a box while you're there. And you can vote as many times as you want every single day in March, because March Madness goes through all of March. So enjoy your voting and enjoy your Built Bar.